Peter Obi and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, two big names in Nigeria's political field, are once again at the center of national talk. The headline everybody is shouting about right now is that Peter Obi has joined Tinubu to escape northern domination ahead of 2027, and that according to Obidient, power must remain in the south. This kind of gist can shake everywhere because it touches two things Nigerians take very serious: politics and the question of where power should stay. Now, what is really going on? As we move closer to 2027, you know the camps are already forming. On one side, the ruling party APC has already endorsed Tinubu for another term. That means the APC family is not confused. They have their candidate and it's their sitting president. On the other side, the opposition has been struggling to unite. People have been talking about ADC, Labour Party, PDP, and even whispers of alliances. And this is where Obi's name comes up because a lot of Nigerians see him as that fresh face who still has grassroots support, especially from the Obidient movement. But let's be honest, the story that Obi is joining Tinubu looks more like a social media spin than a confirmed deal. Why? Because Obi's base, the Obedients, are very vocal. They keep saying over and over that Obi is not desperate for power and that nobody can force him into a political marriage without proper consultation. Recently, when some groups tried to push him to adopt ADC as the official vehicle, Obedients pushed back strongly. They said, no, let there be consultation, let there be order, and let things not be rushed. That alone shows that Obi can't just wake up and announce that he is now working with Tinubu without the movement reacting heavily. Now pause for a second. Do me a favor. If you're enjoying this breakdown and you like when we bring the gist to you straight without confusion, please hit the like button right now and also subscribe to this channel. It helps us continue to give you updates like this in real time. Back to the matter. Why is power must remain in the south such a hot line? In Nigeria, power rotation has always been part of the story. People from different regions feel they deserve a fair chance. Since Tinubu is from the south and he is just in his first term, his supporters believe it's natural he should get another chance so that power doesn't shift too quickly back to the north. On the other hand, some northern leaders are already warming up because they don't want to wait too long. This is the tension that produces these kinds of headlines. But the smart politicians know that to win in Nigeria, you cannot only depend on one region. You need the north, the south, the east, and the west all together. Could Obi and Tinubu really make a deal? In politics, never say never. We have seen stranger alliances before. Remember, people who were enemies yesterday can sit down tomorrow and share the same table. But practically, if Obi moves too close to Tinubu, he risks losing his strongest card, the Obedients. These are people who see him as the alternative, the fresh face outside the APC and PDP establishment. If he crosses over, he might weaken that image. For Tinubu too, if he tries to bring Obi openly into his camp, critics might say he is trying to silence the opposition instead of competing fairly. So both sides must weigh the risks and benefits. Another thing to watch is that Tinubu is not sitting quietly. His party structure is strong and already preparing the ground for him. They know incumbency comes with its advantages. But the opposition is banking on one thing: if they can unite, if they can come under one strong coalition, they can present a serious challenge. That is why you are hearing ADC, Labour, PDP talks. The question is whether egos can be dropped and whether everyone can truly agree on one person. Now let's slow down and talk about the Obidient movement again, because they are central here. These are not just casual supporters. They are a grassroots army. They donate money, they campaign, they trend topics online, and they show up at rallies. When some leaders tried to give Obi orders about joining ADC, they came out boldly and said nobody should force Obi. He is not desperate. That was a powerful message. It shows Obi cannot be moved around like a chess piece. His support base wants to be part of every decision. And if Obi ignores them, it could backfire badly in 2027. Think about it. In 2023, Obi didn't win the presidency, but he shook the table. He won in Lagos, he carried many states, and he became a household name. That momentum is still alive, especially among young Nigerians who want change. So, whether or not he teams up with Tinubu, Obi remains a major factor, and that's why headlines like this go viral. They spark debates, they make people click, and they keep Nigerians talking. Now, please, again, if you're following this gist and enjoying how we're breaking it down without grammar too heavy, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. That's the way you encourage us to keep going. Let's now ask the big question: what happens if Obi stays on his own versus what happens if he forms an alliance? If he stays on his own, he keeps his brand pure, the Obidient brand remains solid, and he goes into 2027 as the outsider fighting the establishment. But the risk is that APC's structure may overwhelm him again. If he joins a coalition, he may gain numbers, but he may also lose some of his uniqueness. And if the coalition includes Tinubu, then his own people may say, Obi has betrayed us. That's the balancing act. Tinubu, on the other hand, doesn't really need Obi to run because APC already endorsed him. But if Obi were to join forces with Tinubu, it would be like putting extra fuel in Tinubu's tank. It would weaken the opposition and make APC almost unbeatable. That's why people take such headlines seriously. Even if they are not yet confirmed, they point to the fear of a sudden united front that could lock out the North. And don't forget the North. Politicians from the North are not sitting idle. Atiku, for instance, is still around. Other northern governors are also preparing. The North knows that in 2027, they cannot just watch power slip away without trying.